Hi everybody, it's Marilyn with MKR Creations, and today we're going to do part 3 of our mini wedding album. I have some pockets already made to keep this video a little bit shorter, but this is generally what I do. I just make a triangle. I use the square of the piece of paper and do a triangle to use as my corners. And if you hear that squeaking, I'm sorry, my husband's working outside apparently and turning on and off water hoses. I'm not really sure why. We just had a major snowstorm, so I don't know why he would need the water right now. Anyway, we're going to put in the front and back papers of our album, and we are going to put in some pockets, and I'm going to show you some of the mat cards I have for the bride-to-be to use. So first off, we're going to put this front page in. Haven't decided if I'm going to do any kind of a pocket here at all. I may decide to do that in the future. One thing that you want to keep in mind when you're making albums is this is your creation. It is you, and you want you to come through in that. I tend to make albums that are a little less frilly, a little more, for lack of a better word, a clean, rather than, I love shabby chic. I just have not learned to do it well yet, so hopefully in the future I will be able to do that better. A lot of the papers I use, like Stamperia papers, tend to be more of a shabby chic type paper design, which I love, and they have that vintage look to them, which is really my favorite kind of thing. So this one, I don't want to put any pockets here, though I could put one here. I just don't want to take away from the roses. So as of right now, I'm not going to do that. I may put something else there instead. This is the pocket I'm going to use. I'm just going to put in corner pockets today. And I use glue for these. I do not use the double-sided tape. The double-sided tape, if I put that down here, it's going to have a sticky edge sticking out that things are going to stick to on the bride. Now, the one that we put in like this, that has the gusset that we folded under things, pieces of paper to glue down, that you could use the double-sided tape on, no problem. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with double-sided tape depending what I'm doing. I love it for doing my covers to my albums and that sort of thing, but when I'm doing pockets, I need a little more time to make sure things are adjusted just right. So anything that has to have any kind of adjustment, I will use glue for. Okay, so you're just going to put glue on the edges and put that down. And if you noticed, I have kind of a decorative border on my pocket. You can cut your pocket a little bit bigger than what you want, and if you have die cuts, you can use a die cut border on it. If you are one of those people that has great luck with the scissors that have the decorative cut swirls and stuff in them, you could use that to cut this line. I don't do well with those. I have a really hard time getting things to line up correctly. To do that, also, if you have decorative edge punches, those work well for this also. And let's see, I have one like this, and I have others too, but you can do a bigger pocket, use the decorative edge punch, and then when you're done, cut your papers here to fit that. You won't be able to do the decorative edge on it, or unless you're really, really talented, and I've seen people do that. I am not that talented yet, so I just prefer to have a straight edge along there and make it simple. So, okay. Then here we're going to put a pocket in. One thing you want to remember with pockets, you want the pocket, the opening, to always go towards the center of your album, so that if something falls out of the pocket or shifts out, it's going to be stopped by the spine. Otherwise, you're going to have things falling out onto the floor, and that's no fun. So you want to make sure your pockets face inside, and that's something I learned the hard way. So it was like, well, that keeps falling out, and it's like, well, the pocket's going the wrong way. So if I make my pockets so they all face inward, then I won't have that problem. So we'll put this one down. Like I said, I often need to readjust things, so got that adjusted to where I want it. And that, I like that. The roses will play off the roses that are over here. This, the gray, kind of plays off of this. I don't like to put pink on pink, because then you kind of lose your pocket. It kind of disappears. And if you're going to go to the trouble of putting a decorative border, you want people to see it. Now here, I am not going to put anything over that. I don't want to cover the cake. And if you recall, we had this small pocket type area here that the bride can put things in if she wants. Here, I don't want to cover up that rose, and in order to have the pocket facing the center, we would have to cover that rose. And again, we have this small pocketed area here that the bride can put things in. Here we have another one of those little pocketed areas that is just, it doesn't have an extra piece of cardstock under there, so it's not going to hold anything real heavy, but it will work for small items. Then I'm going to put a pocket over here. This is the bottom part of the dress, and I just thought that would be pretty, just kind of different look there. So we're going to put this one down. And again, just gonna put glue on two sides. Put it down and adjust it how we want it. If you notice, I love to border, little white border along here to kind of hopefully sort of match up with the white border that's already on the page, so that it gives it a little more seamless view. I'm going to hold this down a little longer. It kind of wants to pop up there. Okay, good. And we're going to put our last piece down here. I'm going to get all the way to your edges, because you want your edges to stay stuck well. And remember, not too much glue. This has the tiny tip on it so that it just lets a little bit of glue out at a time. I love this dress. This is so pretty. I love these vintagey kind of gowns that harken back to the day. Bridal dresses now are nothing like when I got married in the 80s. We had very frilly, very country, very shabby chic kind of gowns, and that's just what I love. So we're going to put a pocket here. Not going to put any pockets over here because I do not want to cover up that dress. That would be heartbreaking if I had to do that. So I'm going to put this last pocket down, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for mat cards in the pockets, so the bride has plenty of room to put her photos, because she can put photos down on these plain pages like this if she'd like, but she can also put photos on the photo mats and place them in the pockets. So while that's drying, these are the kind of photo mats. They are cards that came with the paper collection, and I just cut them out She can put a picture on the back, like this one, it says invitation, but she can put a picture of the cake on the back, and then she can journal about the cake, what flavor it was, how many layers, that type of thing, who made the cake. Here's another journaling card. You can put a picture on the back, and you have already a border. If you have a smaller picture, you have colored borders for them. These I have not decided what I'm doing with them yet. I am either will put them in as journaling cards for her to put tiny pictures on, or I will use them as decoration inside. Here's another one that says save the date. You can put a picture on the back. Here you can put a picture of the groom on the back, what he wore that day. And here's one the bride can put a picture of her dress on the back. So those are what we will use for journaling cards. Now, another thing I need, I want to cover these centers up. I do not want to leave those open like that. So I have different laces and ribbons I can use. Could put this one down. It's not quite as wide as what that is. This one will bring out the silver or the grays in the paper. It's a little bit shiny. I'm not sure I like that. This one is white and has a gray border. It would bring out the grays in the paper. It might be a little bit wide for this. I'm not sure how the pages will turn with that too much. Not sure. And then this one has more of a vintage feel to it. I just have not made up my mind yet. So, if you could please comment below which ribbon you think would be the best. I will definitely take it under advisement what you guys are all thinking. So if you would comment below, pick a ribbon that you think would be the best for this album, and I will take it under advisement and would very much appreciate that. And if it's an overwhelming vote for a certain ribbon, I may have to go with that. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please hit that subscribe button. And happy crafting, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.